It is not nice, nor is it smart, to try to fool the Holy Father. At a time when the Catholic Church is seeking to distance itself from centuries of charges that they are not seeking to foster true love and harmony between everyone, Pope Francis has struck a serious chord of possible change in policy, all due to a meeting with an American county clerk who would seek to personify the word hypocrite. Let's get to this. Our guest is Vice President and Academic Dean at the Dominican House of Studies in Washington, D.C., also author of Aquinas and the Theology of the Body. It's a pleasure to welcome back Father Thomas Petri to the show. Father, thanks for being here, and let's get right off to the Kim Davis issue here. The ambassador from the Vatican to the United States, fired, released, retired, however you want to place it recently, because this is the individual who put the Pope together with Kim Davis at a time that issue was really roiling a lot of Catholics and non-Catholics as well. I guess the question here is it not concerning that an ambassador might be using the Pope to make a political statement because the Pope was not aware what he was being given at that moment and whom he was meeting?
Well, it's not clear what the Pope was aware of or wasn't aware of when he met Kim Davis. He made many political statements while he was here in the United States. For instance, he specifically met with the Little Sisters of the Poor right after the Mass at the Catholic University of America. The Pope always makes subtle political statements and very much expresses his position on various issues that are going on in the countries that he visits.
Is it not fair to say, though, and again, let me get back to the core here, you have an ambassador who reportedly puts the Holy Father with Kim Davis, and there's a lot of people in America on both sides of this issue. Some think she is doing the right thing, some think that she is a hypocrite because she talks about being an adherent to the Bible. She's been divorced a couple of times, she has children out of wedlock. There's a lot of things going on here, but don't you think it would have really been smart to tell the Holy Father the complete story, what's going on here, so he doesn't get caught into some sort of a bind here and a controversy that he didn't want to be a part of?
Well, once again, I think the Holy Father did know who he was meeting. I think they let him know. It's not clear in the upper echelons of the Church who's communicating with who. The Apostolic Nuncio, Archbishop Vigano, invited Kim Davis and her husband to the nunciature to meet the Holy Father, Pope Francis. Father Lombardi, who's the press secretary for the Vatican, says the Holy Father didn't know, but it's not clear who communicated anything to Father Lombardi about that meeting.
Let's then go ahead and look at a second issue here as well, because we have talked about this many times here on the show, and I need to get your take on this, Will. I finally had a chance in the last week to see the Academy Award-winning movie Spotlight. I lived in Boston for a time. I know all about how the people there feel. This was a brilliant film as far as journalism is concerned, and certainly talked about a very difficult time when in New England, in Boston specifically, the Catholic Church was hiding abuse by a number of priests, and it was finally unveiled and revealed by the Boston Globe. Recently, a Catholic Church sex abuse survivor praised the movie, said all Catholics and all thinking people should watch this film. Father, here's the question from a lot of very devout Catholics these days. Is the Catholic Church paying attention to what this movie is bringing to light? Are they really, truly trying to get to the core of the problem here and ferret out those priests, those individuals that do not deserve to wear the holy cloth?
Oh, absolutely. I saw the movie as well. It's a great movie. It shows that there was a culture both in the church and in New England that hid these priests, that revered these priests, and they weren't able to identify these priests or bring them to light. Since all of this came to light, the Catholic Church is leading the way from Pope John Paul II through Benedict and now Pope Francis to identifying these priests, making sure first that these kind of men never get ordained, and if anyone ever harms any child, that he is punished, that he is turned over to the law, and that he serves his time.
Okay, now you said the key words in there, turned over to the law, because I believe that's what a lot of people want to hear, Father, and that has not happened in the past. How can Catholics here in America then be assured that the Catholic Church is doing everything it can to find these people, have them adjudicated to the fullest extent of the law, and not hiding them? There's still that feeling process in there from a lot of Catholics that it's still not being done.
In 2002, after the sex abuse scandal came forward, the United States bishops had a meeting in Dallas, and they made very clear that all bishops and anyone who is aware that children are being abused have to contact law authorities, the legal authorities, that this has to be investigated. It can't be left simply to internal church matters whatsoever. And Pope Francis and Pope Benedict has made that clear. Cardinal Sean O'Malley, the Cardinal Archbishop of Boston, leads the Holy Father Father's team, his committee, for worldwide sex abuse protocols. And Cardinal O'Malley and his committee have made clear no bishop is permitted to hide or to shelter priests who abuse children. It is a grave evil, and an abuse of power to do so. As
a member of the Catholic Church, are you personally confident that everything is being done to ferret out this vermin?
Absolutely. What I know, and at my sort of small little level in the Catholic Church and in my little pond, I am completely confident and aware that we're doing everything, that bishops are doing everything to find these priests and to hold them accountable if such abuse happens. And when bishops don't, we can be sure that the Holy Father is holding them accountable. This has already happened in the United States. 2 bishops had to resign, were asked to resign for not properly informing the legal authorities when they had priests who were abusing minors.
I got about 20 seconds left. Let's make it a lighter note heading out. How is the Holy Father's new Instagram doing?
I haven't actually seen it yet. I'm on Twitter myself, but I'm looking forward to it.
He is now under the name Francisca. So they're just trying to reach out then to the younger audience? Is that what this is about?
Oh, absolutely. He's the first pope to do selfies. As we know, he's been doing selfies with young people left and right. So, yeah, he wants to reach the young in the new media where they are.
Continue to change. A lot of Catholics are looking forward to it and say that it is about time, of course, but there's always controversy involved in that as well. Father Thomas Petri, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, the reality of seething hate driving America right now, and why it is not fair to blame it all on Donald Trump, no matter what anybody says. That's in Telling It Like It Is. That's next here on The Hardline.